Welcome to NFL Prop Picks, powered by the Blitz on Covers. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Derek Carty, the mind behind the numbers. We're here every primetime standalone game, giving away Derek's leans and plays for everything under the lights. Another doubleheader Monday again. A busy another week 6 in the books. We look to week 7, where here we are again with the Saints playing on a short week for the second week in a row. Like, that's a bad schedule spot. Like, it doesn't seem that long ago that we were watching Kareem Hunt just run 21 times coming off his couch versus his defense indoors. And then they got ran over again last week. Like, this defense has been on the field more than a bad high school team that practices every day. The defense has played 152 plays worth of snaps over the last 2 weeks. And that's not even a full week of rest. And now they're on the short week again. The time of possession for New Orleans over the last 2 weeks, Tampa Bay and KC, 46 minutes to 74 minutes. Yeah. And it's like you saw how deep that New Orleans injury report is. Like, and it's like people are like, oh, cluster injuries. No, this is like team cluster, serious spots. Wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, linebacker 1, O-line, starting O-lineman. Like, that's not even whether or not like Taysom Hill's going to come back. It is so ugly. How have you tried to manage what this team is going to represent on Thursday night?
It's it's tough. I mean, right now, I'm assuming in terms of the main skill players, Olave and Shaheed are both going to be out. I'm assuming Taysom Hill's going to be out, but I think we have less certainty whether that's actually going to be the case or not. It's just like you said, there's a lot on that injury report. This is going to be a potentially very ugly game.
Right? It's going to be a very ugly game, but let's get right to the plays. We got 2 leans, both on the New Orleans offense. So let's get to the first one. We're over at Bet365. This one really interests me because usually some of this isn't priced in on the other way that we're going. I know last year we dealt pretty well with rookie quarterbacks being mispriced, but this market is going down. Because I was box score checking and I'm like, oh, let me get on that over. And it's going down. I would have been left with a bad number here. Let's go. Release number 1. We are on player rushing yards. Spencer Rattler. Under 21.5 rush yards, minus 110 here at 365. Let me know if you're betting it somewhere else what that number is as well. Ran 4 times for 27 yards last week. That's the sample size that we're going at. That's what everybody's looking at this week. And they would have been like me, looking to grab that and would have been left with a bad number because saw the 24s go down. Seeing the 21. We're seeing some 19s out there. What's the hate on Spencer Rattler running after a decent, I don't know, I'm assuming all 4 were scrambles, right? No designed runs.
He had I think he had 1 design run in there maybe. But yeah, I mean, 4 rushes for 27 yards. Okay, he went over this line last time, but he did it on like 7 yards per carry, which is not sustainable even for a quarterback. You bring him down to a more reasonable number and you give him 4 carries and he goes under this. His athletic profile coming out of college wasn't nowhere near, a Jaden Daniels or even a Drake May or Caleb Williams. Like, this is a guy who athletically, rushing wise, kind of profiled more like Will Levis, who's averaged about half of this per game in his 14 NFL starts.
Spencer Rattler absolutely hates that comparison, by the way.
I'm sure he does. Yeah, so he's not like a super athletic guy, not like a big rusher. This feels like a bit of an overreaction to the line last week. Also in college, he took a ton of sacks. If he's a guy who struggles to not escape, well, scrambles are going to be hard to come by if you're getting sacked instead. So this one looks pretty good. The Blitz is projecting about 6 yards under the line here. Obviously, our sample size is small. I looked at a few other systems just to kind of see where they're at. The aggregate or the average was just 1 yard above the blitzes. So it seems like most projections have him going under here. And there's always the chance for, injuries, kneel downs, all that kind of stuff. So, I liked it better at the number we had before it moved, but this number is still pretty solid.
Tate saying, do we like it at minus 116? That I'm sure the 116 is not bad, but 21.5 at minus 120. Do you wait for it to move down to 20 and get a better price, or?
You could, if you think it's going to move down to 20 and you're going to get something like even money, but there's already some 20s out there. Like I think FanDuel has 20.5 minus 113. So I probably, if the best you have is 21.5 minus 120, I think you probably take that. Still lean territory. It's not too far off of what we're talking about here. I think I probably just jump on that.
So in that range of outcomes, maybe the Saints playing with a lead, just handing the ball off, right? Like there's nothing wrong with that, because the volume in their run game over the last 2 weeks has been heavily dictated by the fact that they haven't had the ball much. Right. Yeah. They did play with a bit of lead. They gave up, I think it was 14-0 or something, 10-0 quickly within last week's game versus Tampa Bay. They did come back. I was on Tampa and I was furious at how poorly it came, but they blew them out eventually. But they got away from what they were doing. And we'll see when we release this play what this offense wanted to do and what this offense was doing when it was winning earlier in the season. And that means giving the ball to this guy. Let's go to ESPN or BetMGM or the Score. Let's go to rushing props. There, let's go. Kamara, over 17.5 carries, minus 110. Oh, we've lost him. I don't know. He brought it down. Must have been a user name in there somewhere. But now, Alvin Kamara, over 17.5 carries, minus 110. That's a lean. But so that brings me back to what this offense was trying to do. I mean, he's questionable with a hand injury, but everything's looking pretty normal. Those were on the walkthroughs, I believe, on Wednesday. On Tuesday. I was trying to find out what was happening today. But game script and a lack of time of possession has literally killed his usage. So he had 80 rush attempts from weeks 1 to 4. And it's just, I know Kendre Miller's probably coming back.
Kendre right? Miller, yeah. Which I know people are like excited about him, but all offseason, all Dennis Allen did was talk trash about Kendre Miller and hated him. Like they've been a little more given a little more praise this last week or so since he's been practicing, but I'm really not too concerned about Kendre Miller eating into Kamara from a skill basis. If they decide they want to, give Kamara, if he's banged up, short week, a little bit of a lower workload, maybe you see some Kendre Miller. I'm more concerned about Taysom Hill than I am about Kendre Miller. Right now, I'm projecting Taysom Hill out. If he were to play, this would become probably unplayable. That's why we're calling it a lean, but there's just not a lot out there for this game that I like. And I think it's more likely than not that Taysom sits one more week on a short week like this. But yeah, this is a team that's pretty run heavy to begin with. With a rookie quarterback, they project to run even more because that's what teams do with rookie quarterbacks, especially a 5th round rookie quarterback. He's gone over this in 3 of the 4 games that he played without Taysom Hill. The only one he didn't was last week when they were playing from behind by 30 and had to throw the ball. Against Denver, they're probably not going to be playing from behind by 30. I'd imagine they're going to be able to run the ball as much as they want, I'm hoping. And Kamara has just been getting basically all of the groundwork without Taysom Hill in the mix.
Yeah, it should be interesting. Monoff is worried about the hand injury that he's dealing with.
It's possible.
Where do you land on his health wise? Obviously, you're locked into the estimated reports that were yesterday and the day before. Today is nothing's really come out in terms of it. He's been banged up and been on that list. He was on it last week. Short week obviously doesn't help, but there's nothing.
Kind of what I'm thinking. Like, he was on it last week. We've seen him on the injury list, before. Like, I don't think it's anything to worry about. It could be. I mean, that's always part of the downside, the under risk here. But I don't think I think he's just going to have his normal workload, most likely.
So nothing on any of the Denver running game after what we saw from Turner, what we saw from Irving, what we saw from Kareem Hunt, guys who either didn't have a lot of experience or recently didn't have a lot of experience within the league. If you were looking, you just look at the numbers, you're like, well, I know this defense is gassed. I know this defense is giving up a ton. Do you kind of look to see that and trying to work your way into a play that way, or just like, no, let's stick with the numbers?
I mean, I looked at it, but honestly, defense in general is noisy. Run defense especially is very noisy. So just a few weeks of them getting gashed on the ground, not really going to move the needle too much for me, especially because we know people in the market are going to react to that more than projections will. Yeah. And so you're probably not going to find you're probably not going to find value based on that, that kind of edge or that handicap or whatever you want to call it. Plus Denver's got 3 guys in the mix now. Like, who knows how the ball's even going to be divvied up between them. I think Sean Payton even said this week, he doesn't know how he's going to do, it's easier to divvy up carries between 2 backs. He's like, I don't know how I'm going to do it with 3. So good luck guessing who it's even going to be, even if you do think the defense is just going to get destroyed, which is far from a sure thing.
And let's be honest, Javonte Williams has done literally nothing with his. So, like, you could start him. The plan could get thrown out the window. Efficiency could bring in other backs. You could have 3 backs running inefficiently. It is a messy one. And I don't know. I think Javonte Williams sitting around 50 yards for it. And who knows? Rookie quarterback versus rookie quarterback. Game script could go out the window. There's nothing fun about having Rico Dowdle for over rushing yards when that happens last week. And Rico Dowdle finished with like 33% snap share in the first half last week. Yeah. Did you see that? That was sad. That was like when you're still giving Zeke carries in like non-blowout game.
I wasn't really expecting that last week.
No, like that was the first thing I saw when I was looking at the snap share stuff. I'm like, you guys want to crap on everybody? Crap on the coaching staff, crap on everybody for not giving Dowdle snaps down the stretch. That was or at the first half when things were competitive, because those numbers were good. Jalen Tolbert season, though, I think there's did you see Coach Speak Index about Tolbert coming up too?
Yeah, they've been kind of hyping him up the last few weeks. I feel like the Dallas coaching staff, and he's, I like Tolbert.
Awesome. I feel like he might crush the 50 this game. Monoff says that, and I think it goes back to exactly what Derek said. The public perception is that the Saints defense can't stop the run. And I think that's it, because nothing else Javonte Williams has done this year would lead you to believe that he can rush for 50 yards on a short week with 2 other backs nipping at his heels. No?
Yeah. I mean, that's basically my take on it. I think the defensive part is being weighed too heavily in people's minds. The blitz is projecting basically exactly the line that they have out for Javonte right now.
It's only going to get bet to the over.
Yeah, it's only going to go the other way.
Yeah,
May is going to be in the mix. McLaughlin's still in the mix. I'm not on it.
No, Andrew Brennan said Zeke could play. Media asked Jerry about it. Jerry made the call. AB, he's probably right. But no, some big switches going on into the weekend in week 7. Sorry, with week 6 finished. But that's where we are. Let's recap the 2 picks here. We got Spencer Rattler under 21.5 rush yards. That's a lean. Got that at 365. Then Alvin Kamara over 17.5 carries, -110, also a lean. That's what we'll be running out for Thursday Night Football. We'll be back Friday, 2:15 for more releases for Sunday primetime games and the double on Monday night. Again, and producer Mick saying, hit that like button if you haven't already. Can go receptions on Devon. Oh, I just love when the chat just throws out the plays. So it's so fun just to talk people into place. Favorite ladder candidate this week? Oh, Jeff Powers. Come on. Just did the outro and now we're talking favorite ladder candidate.
I haven't looked on this game yet.
No, I don't know. So before we go, one of my favorite things to ladder is I don't love laddering like guys in the 70s, right? Like you got to have like an epic week. You want guys like who's the rookie tight end that could play for Carolina this week with Hayden Hurst injured? Like that's the guy you want who has 20.
And or like a Kendra Bourne, who like his snaps might start to increase, and like if he like spikes to like 90% routes this week, he could.
That's how you know your snap shares, right? And then you have producer Mick saying Demario Douglas. Well, Demario Douglas isn't even playing in 12 personnel. He's wide receiver 3 right now, and that's where
they did say they might start working him into two wide receiver sets. But yeah, Bourne's the guy that I think I haven't even looked at the lines yet, but just kind of. That's the type of guy I'd be looking at ladders for probably if the numbers work out.
And Gerard Merrill was not happy with Jalen Polk, I believe. Was that who he was angry about?
Yeah, wasn't super happy with Polk. He basically said the guys I trust are Douglas, Bourne, and Booty.
Yeah. So he was the other wide receiver, 96% snap share in the 2 wide receiver sets. What about Vila for Denver? There's the last question we'll answer.
I mean, they kind of said they want to get a look at Vila and Troy Franklin, and we saw it last week. They played a bunch of snaps. Lil Jordan Humphrey went down. I'm not seeing a lot of value on him though. Like the line looks pretty fair, and it's been going up. So,
But follow the Covers account on X because of the injuries. With the Saints and wide receiver 1, wide receiver 2, there could be some fancy lines come out close to game time. Those 2.3s, those under 0.5 receptions, somewhere around there. So
I don't think we have a Bub. What is his name? Bub Means. Bub Mims.
Oh, Bub Means, bud.
Yeah. We don't have Bub Means lines yet. So that'll be
Bug Means season. There it is. Is it Bug? I think it's Bub.
It's Bub. Yeah.
Yeah. No, yes, Bub's not there. I think Bub's for a touchdown was like plus 500. That was pretty much the only thing you can look at. But Bub, if it's Bub, right? Like what did he do? He ran the most routes. He had the highest target share.
Yeah. Like he's like their wide receiver 1 now.
Right? Like if you get like 39.5, like it's like wide receiver 1 is probably anything over what? 44.5.
Something like that. Yeah. So depending on the line, we'll keep an eye on it. You never know. But
Bub Means watch 2024. Yeah. I'm sure everybody else is literally just waiting for it to open.
Oh,
and
the books are gonna get
smoked. All right, but let's leave it at that. All right, 2 in the book. Appreciate everybody there in the chat. We'll be back Friday for the rest of the primetime games. I'm Josh Ingles. He's Derek Carty. This is NFL Prop Picks powered by the Blitz on Covers. We'll see you back here Friday, 2:15 p.m. We'll see you.